Hey guys, welcome back, and this is me Tarun, and today I'm going to be talking about Potti Sri Ramamullu. India would have attained independence long back if only it had a few stalwarts like him. Once remarked Mahatma Gandhi for the legendary freedom fighter Potti Sri Ramamullu, who sacrificed his life for the creation of Andhra Pradesh. Born on 16th March 1901 in Madras, Chennai, Sri Ramamullu spent his formative years in the city his family had made home after moving from their native Guntur district. After completing his diploma in sanitary engineering from the Victoria Jubilee Technical Institute in Mumbai, uh, uh, he worked in the Great Indian Peninsular Railway for a salary of rupees 250 per month. Despite a relatively comfortable life, Sri Ramamullu was deeply immersed in the freedom struggle, but a series of personal tragedies drove him to leave behind material pursuits. In 1928, his wife died during childbirth, and a few days later, so did his child. Following the passing of his mother, Sri Ramullu gave up his government job in 1930 to join Gandhi's Salt Satyagraha, for which he was imprisoned. He would go on to play an active role in the Quit India movement in 1942 and was jailed alongside Gandhi. An ardent follower of Gandhi, Sri Ramamullu took his call to serve India's villages where most of the country lived, and to that end he joined the Gandhi Ashram set up by Giannini Subramaniam near Komaravulu village in Krishna district. In a hagiographic study on Sri Ramamullu published by the Committee of History for Andhra Movement, this was written on his relationship with Gandhi. Sri Ramamullu's stay at Sabarmati was epoch-making, for here was a seeker full of love and humanity, all service and all sacrifice for his fellow humanity. And here also was a guru, the world teacher, equally full of affection, truth, ahimsa, and kinship with Daridra Narayana or the suffering poor. While at Sabarmati, Sri Ramamullu did his tasks with cheer and devotion and won the affection of the inmates and the approbation of Kulapati. Kulapati was another name for Gandhi. However, Sri Ramamullu was his own man as well. Besides fighting for India's freedom, he also took up the cause for greater social and economic emancipation of the Dalit community. While other congressmen were forced on breaking free from the British, Sri Ramamullu undertook a fast unto death, demanding that all temples in the Madras province be open to the Dalit community. He continued the fast until Gandhi persuaded him to break it. His first fast in March of 1946 had been to demand entry for Dalits into the Sri Venugopala Swami temple in Nellore and lasted only 10 days. The second in December the same year lasted 19 days and demanded the opening of all temples in Nellore to Dalits. The third and fourth in 1948 and 1949 both demanded the declaration of a monthly day of service to benefit the social uplift of Dalits, writes Lisa Mitchell in Language, Emotion and Politics in India. He did secure entry for Dalits into the Sri Venugopala Swami temple. Acharya Vinod Bhave and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru are the two people who you can see on the screen. Following Gandhi's death, however, Sri Ramamullu took up the cause for a separate state for Telugu-speaking areas. Although the movement was for a separate Telugu-speaking state goes way back to the early 1910s, It was on 15th August 1951 when Congressman Swami Sitaram launched a fast unto death for the creation of a separate Andhra state. For 35 days, the central government did nothing until Acharya Vinoba Bhave warned Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru of the potential consequences if these demands were not met. And both leaders eventually met Sitaram and promised the creation of Andhra Pradesh. Unfortunately, this promise never materialized because Nehru was strongly against the idea of creating states along linguistic lines. Another figure opposed to the idea was Chief Minister of the erstwhile Madras province, Sri Raj Gopalachari. Moreover, both leaders clearly stated that if a state was indeed created, the city of Madras or Chennai will never become a part of it. On 22nd May 1952, Nehru told the parliament, "Personally, I would look upon anything that did not help this process of consolidation as undesirable. Even though the formation of linguistic provinces may be desirable in some cases, this would obviously be the wrong time. When the right time comes, let us have them all, by all means." However, as Professor K.V. Narayana Rao once wrote, this attitude of Nehru appeared too vague and evasive to the Andhras. Nobody knew what the right time was and when it would come. Unsatisfied by the centre's response, Sri Ramamulu began his fast unto death for a separate Andhra state on October 19, and the year was 1952. However, for the first 6 weeks of his fast, both Nehru and Rajaji were unconcerned by the fast. However, the law and order situation began to deteriorate with the hartals and many towns and angry mob destroying public property. Nehru eventually ceded to the demands and wrote to Rajaji on 12 December asking him to accept the demand for a different state. However, there was a delay in issuing the formal announcement, leaving Sri Ramamulu to fast for a few more days till he tragically passed away on 15th December 1952. He had fasted for an astounding 58 days. His death caused an uproar. The news spread like wildfire and created an uproar among the people in far-off places like Vizianagaram, Vishakhapatnam, Vijayawada, Iluru, Guntur, Tenali, Ongole, and Nellore. Several people were killed in police firing in Ankappally and Vijayawada. The popular agitation continued for 3 to 4 days, disrupting normal life in Madras and Andhra regions. On 19 December 1952, Nehru agreed to grant statehood to the Andhras, says the Hindu. After his death, the Telugu-speaking area of Andhra state was called out to Madras state on 1st October 1953 with Kurnool as its capital city. More than 3 years later, on 1st November 1956, Andhra Pradesh came into existence with Hyderabad as its capital. Historian Ramachandra Guha best describes Sri Ramamulu's legacy, which in many ways shaped modern India. Sadly, outside Andhra, he is a forgotten figure now. This is a pity, for Sri Ramamulu had a more than minor impact on history as well as geography of our country. For his fast and its aftermath were to spark of a wholesale drawing of the map of India according to linguistic lines. The Andhras might even claim that Potti Srinamulu was the Mercator of India. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe and check out my blog whose link you can see in the screen. Hope you guys enjoy. and see you guys next time.